How's it going, everybody? I'm Ethan, or UnknownKoder. Welcome to my first PC building video. So I've been away for a while because my computer died. Like I said, I got my parts, so now I'm going to be building. I just have a couple of disclaimers here. So first off, this is not a tutorial, so don't take everything I say as like concrete. This is only my second computer I ever built. So I'm just kind of vlogging, showing you guys how the process goes and that sort of thing. My second disclaimer is that I wouldn't necessarily recommend building this exact computer. This computer is a little bit overpriced for what I'm building. However, I wanted it to be mine, so I personalized and did some things that you don't have to buy. So what I will actually do is, if I remember, I will put a PC part picker link down in the description, and that will actually probably be a little bit better build, a little bit more balanced. But I got some extra things in here that I'll talk about during my part breakdown. And yeah, and if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll actually show you guys how I got this guy at MSRP of $480, as well as how you can get almost any of these AMD reference cards for MSRP. So I'm going to go ahead and start my part breakdown. Hopefully my B-roll footage turned out okay, and then we'll start building the computer. How's it going, everyone? Future Ethan here, coming at you with my part breakdown. I'm actually recording this on the new computer build sitting next to me. Let's hop right into it. So for the CPU, I'm using the Ryzen 5 5600 because it's 6-core, 12 threads. Is plenty for the kind of work in gaming that I'm planning to do. It does come with an updated Wraith cooler. However, we will be running an AIO on my build, which we will see. The Ryzen 5 5600 is built on AMD's latest gen Zen 3 architecture, and it absolutely crushes single and multi-core performance. And then as the price drops on this processor in the near future, it will become an even better bang for your buck deal. So that's why I went with it over the Intel, because in a pure performance, it's still better than the current generation i5. However, if you're not worried about getting all the performance out of your 6-core 12-thread processor, you can save a few bucks and go along with an i5. So to cool my CPU, I went with the ID cooling or ID cooling Zoom Flow in white. It is aesthetically pleasing because it matches my color scheme. It is all around a good value. From reviews of the product, it will perform similar to the Corsair and other expensive counterparts, but you don't have to use some proprietary RGB software to control it, which is kind of why I chose it over a Corsair or some other product. It should be fine cooling our Ryzen 5 5600X, even with a slight overclock. So to connect everything together, I went the ASRock B550 Steel Legend. It's not the best board out there, but it's also not the worst, and I primarily chose it for the aesthetics, which I know is not the great idea. I'm trying to keep the white theme as much as possible here, and I think that the white with silver accents board on this board are beautiful. The reason why I didn't go with the X570 version of this board, or even the more white and silver Asus Prime X570 Pro, is because those two motherboards do not include an internal USB-C connector for my front panel of the case. However, this board seems to have plenty of power if I ever choose to overclock, and it has passive cooling on the VRMs as well as the M.2 slots. So in the end, I'm very happy with my decision. For our RAM selection, there are so many companies producing RAM nowadays. So when I was choosing my RAM, I tried to pick a pair that would match my theming as much as possible, but also not completely break the bank. Of course, I could have just completely foregone the RGB. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I want this PC to be mine, so I was willing to splurge a little bit more on some things. So the sticks of RAM that I end up going with are the T-Force Delta RGB. This is a 3200 gigabyte kit running at 3600 megahertz with a CAS latency of 18. If I wanted to, I could have squeezed a little more performance out of it and gone with the CO16 kit. But at the end of the day, these are probably going to serve me just fine, and I chose this kit over others because primarily they are compatible with my motherboard's RGB software, and honestly, I don't want to have a bunch of different RGB softwares. I want to run everything off my main board, so that is the other reason why I came, but these are also very reliable sticks from a reliable company. For my storage, I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm using a new Crucial P2 500GB NVMe M.2 SSD. My original plan was just to use my boot drive from my previous computer, but it literally died the week before building this one. So hopefully this one has a better lifespan. I'm only choosing 500GB because I'm pairing this with 5 terabytes of hard drive space that I have from my previous computer. This is where I store all my videos and projects from work and play. And I don't have enough games currently to justify a larger SSD. Because if I install any games, I'm typically just have one game installed at a time. Moving on to our power supply, I went with a well-known brand in the computer industry, Cooler Master. The case I chose demanded a SFX power supply, which we'll get to in a second. And this particular model offered the best price to wattage. It's also the only unit that I can find with this wattage that actually had all the connectors I wanted for this build. So it is a 650 watt Cooler Master SFX gold rated model. It's fully modular, so I can use the cables that I want, and it clears up some of the clutter. And then speaking of cables, this is another item that if you want to stick to a strict budget, it's not necessary. However, I wanted to personalize my PC, so I went some white, silver, and light blue cables from Cable Mod. So these will be matching my lighting scheme, and I think that it will really create the final touches of my computer. So my case did not come with any fans, so I went again to Cooler Master, and this is because they are known for making nice fans, and they are also white to match my color scheme, and the RGB is daisy chainable, meaning I need less splitters. And then most importantly, they are affordable and they can be controlled by my motherboard software. Other white fans out there that are affordable can't be controlled, or they have bad reviews, so that's why I spent a little bit extra for the Cooler Master brand. I still saved money compared to Corsair or Lee & fans out there though, so that's fine. And then to be safe, I bought a 10 fan controller from Cooler Master. That way I can have all my controllers or all my fans hooked up to that, and that should make my life a little bit easier in the future without having to have a bunch of splitters. Next is our case. So the case that I went with was the Lee & O11 Dynamic. And this case is what I essentially revolved my entire build around. I got the all Snow White edition of the O11 Dynamic Mini. It is pretty difficult to get now, but I snagged it as soon as it went on sale. I love how it looks. There's literally no black on the glass or the interior at all. And then I'll also be vertically mounting the graphics card because of reasons we'll get into next. But this is another one of those decisions where you could save some money. You could always buy a more affordable case that comes with fans. However, this was literally my dream case, and also you could save money by not vertically mounting the GPU in this specific case. And now we come to the part that everyone's been waiting for, the GPUs. Yes, I actually got a hold of this graphics card, and yes, it was obtained at its real MSRP of $400. At the end of the video, I'll be explaining how I actually was able to obtain this card for the MSRP. However, this card was not my first choice, and the red accents are why I am vertically mounting this card. I would rather see the black and silver facing straight at me rather than the bright red line around the heatsink. Unfortunately, there's still a bright red Radeon logo that will clash, but we'll see what we can do. I made the decision that I need to build sooner rather than later, and to me, the $480 6700 RT made more sense, and although the MSRP is still not great, it was better than spending over $500 on a 3060 when this was a little bit better performance. In the future, I do plan to either replace this with a white 6700 XT, or maybe even a white 3070, or I might even wait longer and replace it with a 4080 or 7800 XT, or something along those lines in the coming years. But this GPU, from what I see, is essentially 5 to 10% slower than the 3070, which would be perfectly fine for me who still plays games at 1080p for now. In the perfect world, I would say I don't agree with the pricing. However, with the current climate of just 3070s going for over $700, for now, this GPU was the right choice for me. So let's go ahead and hop back in and start building. Alright everybody, since we've gone over all my parts, I'm going to go ahead and clear off the table, go get my working mat. I suggest that you guys have either some like desk pad or a mouse pad or something to work on. So I'm going to clear up the table, get rid of everything I don't need, and then set up my other camera. That way I can have a camera facing straight down as well as a camera pointing at me while building, and we'll start the building. Alright everyone, we are going to start with the motherboard. So like in our introduction, this is the Steel Legend B550. How's it going everyone? So I actually decided to do a voiceover. I was going to do a full-on build video, but it was going to be over an hour. So here in this first clip, we're just installing the CPU, RAM, M.2, and the cooler mounting brackets. And then from there, we go ahead and grab the case and some other things. I'm going to try to keep up with the video as much as I can. Obviously there's some things that probably won't, I will have to cut off and stuff, but I'm going to try to work around the video, and I kind of want to bring up some things that I struggled with and some things that I learned about building the case, as long as some other things as well. So I'm not sure how we're going to record this bit, but the case is the 011 Dynamic Mini. This thing is sick. Whenever first time I saw this thing, I wanted to build in it, and this is the special Snow White edition. So what I think I'm going to do is tip it sideways, and maybe just tip it on its head without really messing anything up, hopefully, like that. A little bit more hard than I want it to be, but I'm pretty sure it's fine. Yep, so there's the case. Now I'm going to flip her back over, and we're going to build a PC in it. So I'm going to flip it this way, that way it's on top of stuff. I'll fix that in a bit. Never mind, just the table. I'm going to flip it this way, set up my other camera, and we're going to start building this bad boy. So this case in particular is very modular. That's kind of the whole selling point of it. And what you can do is you can go ahead and extend to this tray right here to actually make it so it holds a full-size ATX motherboard, which is great. And then as I'm putting the motherboard in, I realized something that I need to take it back out. We got our fans installed. I have not done any of the cable management yet. I will do that around the back in a second. And these fans are slightly off-white, which is unfortunate. They look really cream in this, but they don't look like that in person. I may have an issue with this guy. So I thought this guy was going to have stuff on the side to actually plug in RGB, but doesn't. It's just like a controller. So we might need to go and source a RGB splitter, but I'll keep you guys updated. We're going to now install the other piece. So around this time is when my phone started to die, and they started to run out of storage space as well. I had a heck of a time with these fans and stuff, so I think I installed them and uninstalled them 4 or 5 times. And you people who are keen to details, you can probably see that my fans are facing the wrong way. That got pointed out to me on Discord, so I completely did that. But I ripped these fans out, put them back in. After I realized that I couldn't get the front panel connectors all the way installed. So what you're seeing right now is I'm just throwing the motherboard in, and not long after this I realized that the fans are in the way to actually get the front panel in. I also completely forgot to record a bunch of stuff, unfortunately, which is the other reason I didn't do the full video, because like I said, my phones were dying, my phones were running out of storage and everything. So now I'm going through and actually getting the front panel connectors. I had a little bit of scare. I thought that the front connectors weren't going to reach, but they were just caught on stuff. So the front panel connectors are typically the worst part of this. It's not very fun to get some of them. And the thing that annoys me the most about this one is that this USB 3 had to be twisted in a weird way. So I might try to rerun that at some point, but I messed up and I should have bought shorter cables for this case. But I didn't want them to be too short, and I wanted to make sure my cable mod cables came in time, so I brought them early and I just got them regular size. So I would definitely suggest getting shorter cables. The other thing, like I said, the fans got flipped upside down, and I had to completely reinstall those, and I was gonna record myself actually putting those fans in,
but I think that my phone was just out of space, and I was just getting really tired of recording, so it didn't quite go as planned. I am hoping to go ahead and get more PC building videos eventually if the PC market ever turns around. So what I did next was I put all of my cable combs on and then put all these in, and then I end up just tearing the power supply out and then putting all of the pieces or all of the components plugged in and then replugging them in because they weren't laying the way that I wanted them to. So you see me installing all this and putting the power supply in, but it ended up just tearing out again. This PC was very much put stuff in, oh I don't like it, tear it out, reorganize, redo stuff like that. And that's definitely because while it is a little bit bigger case, it still is, it's a big mini ITX case or micro ATX case, it's still pretty small. Now we're just putting in the ID cooling cooler, and then at this point this is essentially all I have left. I install this and then that is it, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and just wrap this part up. All I do now is just plug in the GPU. I don't even do the cords, and then we're going to cut to a wide angle in my room. And yeah, so that's going to be it. And I'll see you guys at the end of the video with my overall takeaways and everything else. Alright everyone, this is what our cabling is going to be looking like. I think it looks sick. It's unfortunate that guy I didn't quite get right, but it is what it is. Oh yeah, this is going to look nice. Now I just got to get the fans in and get all the stuff plugged in. I'm going to swap phones because this one's dying again. And then so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in the power supply, plug them in, and then plug in the fans, and we're going to see if she boots. Back on my other phone, I started recording, but I actually ran out of storage space, so that's no good. But as you guys can see, the cables are still a bit wild. I'm going to fix the combs and everything, but all of our fan cords, fan cables have been tucked away. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix them up off camera, and then we're going to try to boot her up. So let's do it. Alright everyone, it's getting late. So I haven't cable managed anything on the back for the fan wise. This is a test to see if we can post and to see if we missed any fans or anything like that. Previously I have tested this motherboard, CPU and GPU, and we did get post before. So okay, for some reason that gets phantom power. So they're, oh, whoops. I guess it was already on. So here we go. So one guy's not spinning, so maybe I didn't turn him on. Oh, there he goes. I'm not seeing lights on my front panel for some reason, or my whatever this is, I can't think. I'm not seeing lights on my getting lots of codes. Fingers crossed something didn't go wrong. It's late. Oh, there we go. We got post. Oh, I missed it though. We got a running computer, guys. I just missed the post screen. All of the fans are running. That pump is kind of loud, I'm not gonna lie. Now we're gonna need to restart the computer, but hey, that's pretty good. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is, those suckers are pulling in air like crazy. But what I'm gonna go ahead and do is shut down the computer, try to get Windows installed, and then tomorrow I will do the cable management. And that pump is kind of loud, I'm not gonna lie, but because I thought there was something rubbing up in my fans, but no, it's just the pump. But
yep, that's going to be it. I'm going to cable manage, and then we'll do a final montage of the computer tomorrow once I'm done. Before we do our final review, as you guys can see, the office is a disaster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and completely gut this place out, clean up the cables, clean up the floor, get the computer and monitors completely set up, and then we will have an official revealing of what the computer looks like fully completed. So I'm going to begin, and we'll be back in a bit. Got the office somewhat cleaned up here, and we are now ready for the final review. So I think I will actually switch over to my iPhone, even though I don't have a way to convert the video right now. But I'm going to plug in my computer for the final reveal, and then what I'm going to do is put all the panels on and get some B-roll. So let's do it. I want to thank everyone for watching the video. Please like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. Hopefully once the PC market can fix itself up, we can create more videos like this, creating computers for other people. But like I said before, I would show you guys how you can actually get a hold of one of these GPUs. So all I have to do is go to amd.com/buy direct, I believe. Might not be the correct. Let's see. It's under buy direct from AMD. As you can see, obviously there's nothing in stock right now, and the processors and stuff are actually becoming more and more in stock. But essentially what goes on is approximately every single Thursday at between 9 a.m. CST and 10 p.m. or 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, they do a drawing now. It used to just be they would drop stuff. But all I have to do is just come onto this page for between an hour, just refresh the page. I know some people don't have that time, but this is the easiest way to get one of these cards at MSRP. So that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This has been Ethan or UnknownKoder, and I'll see you guys in the next Minecraft video. Peace out.